Had to take it back to the old school before we had the wind blockers or whatever the fuck you put on the microphones and shit to black out your P's and T's. This is Los Fritos in the house. My partner in crime is over here texting some bitch.
What's up, y'all?
It's Sulli time. About to do this short and sweet so we can finish out 1995 and head on into 1996. ECW as my partner in crime rubs his hands like the crippler.
No, I'm rubbing them like Birdman.
Starting off, we have the manager / valet of the year. The nominees are Woman, Troubleshooting Referee Bill Alfonso, Jason, the sexiest man on earth,
Pause.
911, and Beulah McGillicuddy.
Well, we can X 911 out the race right now as he just stood there and watched Chris Benoit run amok on his client right in front of his face. What type of butt? Anyway.
Recounted by Extreme Retro Review number 107, Double Tables.
You're welcome. My vote for manager / valet of the year comes down to two people. Comes down to Woman, who at one time was the manager of all the championships in ECW when she managed Two Gold, Scorpio, and the Sandman, who had the TV and world titles respectively, as well as the tag team titles. But the overall selection is Mr. Bill Alfonso, because he's a man of character, of integrity, high moral character, high moral fiber, and good old-fashioned true refereeing values.
I had to go with a woman. You know what I'm saying? She held all the gold this year. Mm-hmm. She got Sandman all the way back to the top. Pretty much made Sandman or helped make Sandman into a credible world champion. Gave Two Cold Scorpio some of that rub, and gave him a helped bolster the character of Two Cold Scorpio, or Two Gold Scorpio, I should say. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I gotta go with Woman as a pure manager, and got into the matches as well. So she did her thing this year.
All right, let's see how 96 shakes out.
I said I was gonna fucking start writing this shit on the tablet of truth.
Oh yes, that's right.
This makes fucking more sense, right? So I can do the ultimate the ultimate promotion, Sullis.
Oh, that sounds interesting.
Oh, so I had a Woman, and you had Fonzie.
That's right.
All right, moving on. The promo / moments of the year. We had the chair shot heard around the world. Tommy Dreamer hitting Raven chained up in a cage. Heatwave 1995.
Uh-huh.
We have the return of Terry Funk.
Nigga, please.
Return of the Funker, recounted by us, Extreme Retro Review number 111. We have the return of Sabu at the 3rd annual November to Remember 1995 Take a Shot, recounted by us, Extreme Retro Review number 159.
You're welcome.
We have the 3-part Soliloquy of a Crippler promos.
H. Christ.
In February of 1995, also known as Crippler Appreciation Month. And Bill Alfonso getting chokeslammed by 911 at Gangsta's Paradise, recounted by us, Extreme Retro Review number 149.
Well, obviously, that's not the one. Neither is the Terry Funk one. Obviously, none of these really did anything for me. So I'm just going to pick ironically, the one that turned my stomach the least, and that would be the Crippler Chris Benoit Chronicles, or whatever you call it.
I'm about to go with Fonzie getting chokeslammed.
Oh my God, are you serious? That was a travesty and a horrific miscarriage of justice.
It pretty much encapsulated what the Pitbulls 911, you know what I'm saying, everything that was going on in that match. It was a great feel-good moment for the promotion. I gave it a match of the promotion candidate. See you at the Sullis. So I got to go with that one.
I don't know if Bill Alfonso lost his power to shut ECW down, but that clearly should have been the moment. He should have shut ECW down. Only thing I can think of is maybe he has more more smarter plans, and he's just a bigger man, and he's not going to fuck 911 up somehow behind the scenes.
Jobber of the Year for ECW 1995. We have The Shah, Hack Myers. We have Joe Hartgood, DC Drake, The Oriental Connection, and the Fashion Plate of ECW. Tony the Hitman Stetson, the Broad Street Bully.
Oh, shit. And for those of you who may be new or whatever, his wrestling name is not really the Fashion Plate. That is a name that Fooch has given him just because he is such a savvy dresser and shit over the years. So my job of the year is going to be the Shah Hack Myers. I think he's gotten to the point where he's too over with the fans and wins too many matches to really be considered a jobber, to be honest. But since he is on the category, he's the easy best of the bunch, the most over, gets the most wins. The Shah Hack Myers.
I'm actually going to concur with you and go with the Shah as well. He was a jobber who still was over enough that people cared about his matches. He wasn't a flunky who gets chokeslammed by 911 like Joe Hartgood or the Bully or the Oriental Connection. And he doesn't get beat to obliterate like DC Drake.
Poor DC Drake.
Automatic Worst Show of the Year for 1995 was Mountaintop Madness, recounted by us, Extreme Retro Review number 134.
You're welcome.
It was an awful fucking show. But the nominees for the best show: Double Tables, 107. Return of the Funker,
Nigga, please.
111. Hardcore Heaven, 135. Gangsta's Paradise, 149. November to Remember, 159. Or Holiday Hell, 166.
I'm going to go with Holiday Hell. Mainly it's the freshest in my memory. And but it was a show that I really liked.
I'm actually going to concur again and go with Holiday Hell as the show of the year. You had an all-time classic squash with Taz. Mm-hmm. You had a great Tommy Dreamer Raven match. You had a great Raven and Sandman match. Uh-huh. And you had a great Olympic-style rules match between Cactus Jack and Sabu.
Well, it should have been a great Olympic-style wrestling match. Before, who's the fucking stupid ref? Oh, 911 dumbass. Gonna make himself the referee of the match.
Feud of the year: Axel versus Ian, Cactus Jack versus Sandman, Tommy Dreamer versus Raven, Public Enemy versus Gangsters, or The Shooter versus Eddie Guerrero.
Tommy Dreamer versus Raven, hands down. There's been the most compelling They've used it to introduce new wrestlers, the Dudleys and shit. Beulah's getting some shine through this shit. So, easily for me, Dreamer versus Raven.
Again, very easy choice. Dreamer Raven, storyline feud of the year. Probably storyline feud of the promotion. Nothing else to say. It was very good. Very well defined feud this year. But I will say Public Enemy versus Gangsters and Eddie versus Shooter weren't too far behind. Tag team of the year. We have the Public Enemy. We have the Gangsters. We have the Pitbulls. We have Sabu and the Tasmaniac. And we also have the Crippler and the Shooter.
Yeah, right. I'm gonna go with the Pitbulls, and here's why. They're not gay like Public Enemy. They've managed to. They kind of rode a wave there where they were kind of seemed legit for a minute, then they looked like flunkies for a minute. Now they look like badasses again. Oh, excuse me. And they have the longevity that the black niggas don't have. What's their names again?
Gangsters.
The Gangsters, yeah. They have the longevity in 95 that the Gangsters are too new. So we'll see what 96 holds for the Gangsters.
I have to disagree with you. I feel that Public Enemy ran away with this one again. The Pitbull's resurgence of 1995 was very good, and the culmination was right with the Gangsta's Paradise 2 out of 3 falls match with Raven and Stevie Richards. You know, with the tables and all the hoopla and Fonzie getting choke slammed and Tommy Dreamer coming through trying to, you know, get his pin by Raven and shit, or pin on Raven and everything like that. But overall, the Public Enemy has fought everybody. They started out the year fighting the Pitbulls. They went on to fight Sabu and Tasmaniac. They went on to fight Crippler and Shooter. Then they fought Taz. Taz and Rick Steiner after Sabu left the promotion. Gangsters come in. They fight the Gangsters. Then they finish out the year fighting the Heavenly Bodies. And it just shows the vast variety of styles that they fought. And they still have their kind of match. They're not too indistinguishable. But I like the fact that they pretty much was the anchor team. Even though Pitbulls had, you know, such a great, rode a great wave throughout the mid-year after turning babyface. But just Public Enemy was just there the entire year. And you saw the white people being offbeat.
But they're gay.
Stop being a homophobe and give credit where credit is due.
Well, I'm not scared of no gays.
How sick Ricky Morton would take it.
Please don't. All right. Sorry, Public Enemy. Go ahead and get your gay on.
Automatically, any bad breed match is a tie for the worst match of the year.
I concur.
But for the best match, we have Tommy versus Raven at Hostile City Showdown, Extreme Retro Review number 120.
You're welcome.
We have Eddie and Shooter, the first one at Hostile City Showdown. We have Shane Douglas versus Marty Jannetty from Return of the Funker, Extreme Retro Review number 111. We have Rey Mysterio versus Psychosis, their second match, the 2 out of 3 falls match. And we have the Pitbulls versus Raven and Stevie Richards at Gangsta's Paradise, Extreme Retro Review number 149.
You're welcome. I'm going with Eddie versus Scooter 1. First time I saw it, I thought it was great, and it was. It's been the match I've been comparing all other matches to since, so it's easy for me. Eddie versus Scooter won.
No question about it. I have to pick Pit Bulls versus Raven and Stevie Richards. The match had everything in it. It had all the gaga. It had double juice. It had tables. It had bitches. It had 911. It had Fonzie. It had Tommy Dreamer. It just had everything. It was pure chaos, and I loved it.
It was a great match.
Babyface of the year. We got Tommy Dreamer. We got Cactus Jack, Mikey Whipwreck, Eddie Guerrero, and the Public Enemy.
Where's Bill Alfonso? He I mean, he is clearly, if nothing else, at least a candidate for Face of the Year. Because, I mean, he is the one who is keeping everything right in ECW.
I don't think he stayed a babyface the entire year, but there were things that he did that weren't babyface-esque.
I see. All right, we'll talk about this later. Babyface of the year, I'm going to go ahead and give to Mikey. He's the best. I think he does his job the best, and his job is to be the scrappy hero that you root for. He might get his ass whooped a lot of times, but you know he's somebody you can root for, and that's what you want in a face. So Mikey Whipwreck is my 1995 babyface of the year.
I'm actually gonna go with Tommy Dreamer. Everything that Mikey Whipwreck is, Tommy Dreamer in 1995 has eclipsed. I think he's just a better babyface. Not saying that Mikey Whipwreck is bad. It's just that Tommy Dreamer is a better babyface than Mikey Whipwreck. And I get way more excited for Tommy Dreamer Raven matches than Sandman matches. I mean, than Mikey Whipwreck matches.
Now that is fair. But so eliminate Raven from the equation. So put a pin in that. We're talking about the same guy who just cut a promo crying with a fucking white hairnet on. He cries in every other promo, and then he gets duped all the time by all the people he lets near him and shit. Every single time. Going back to Raven. Raven duped him. Cactus Jack fucked him over. Terry Funk fucked him over. I mean, when is he going to learn? But you know what? Everyone is entitled to their opinion, so.
Conversely, for heel of the year, we have Raven, the Gangsters, troubleshooting referee Bill Alfonso.
Wait a minute. Why is Bill Alfonso on heel? So you're trying to tell me he's done more heel stuff than he's done face stuff?
Absolutely.
Wow. I thought I knew you. Is he the last selection?
Shane Douglas and Cactus Jack.
Oh, so Cactus gets to be on both, but Bill don't get to be on both.
Cactus Jack was a absolute great babyface for the first half of the year, but even better as a heel, going anti-hardcore and aligning himself with Raven in the second half.
Hey man, what did Bill Alfonso do to you?
It's not what he did to me. It's what he's done to Todd Gordon and Gillicuddy. Yeah. Knock that bitch out.
Well, since today is opposite day, heel of the year is going to be today's babyface of the year. And for babyface of the year, for heel of the year, but the really babyface of the year, I'm going with troubleshooting referee Bill Alfonso.
This was actually very tough for me because all five were had their moments. Gangsters with their initial run-in and a couple of matches with Public Enemy. Raven with everything he's done to Tommy Dreamer all year. Shane Douglas for all his nefarious plots and plans and holding the World Heavyweight title at the beginning of the year and doing his deeds. Cactus Jack for his anti-hardcore turn that I just mentioned. And troubleshooting referee Bill Alfonso for being such an exceptional character. And that's ultimately who I'm going with, because he played his position better than anyone. Even Shane brought him in at Enter the Sandman, recounted by us, Extreme Retro Review number 125.
You're welcome.
But he took the ball and completely ran with it. You don't even associate Fonzie with Shane Douglas anymore because he is his own independent character. And I think through those types of dealings and everything that he's done in 1995, I consider him the heel of the year.
And plus it's opposite day, so excellent choice.
Finally, for the newly christened Eddie Gilbert Memorial MVP of the year.
Oh man, that is so fitting and so touching and a great tribute to my hero, my inspiration, and the founder of Hot Stuff International, the late great King of Philadelphia, Hot Stuff Eddie Gilbert.
The nominees are Raven, Sandman, troubleshooting referee Bill Alfonso, Public Enemy, Cactus Jack, and I'm also going to write in Tommy Dreamer.
Now, this one is a tough one for me because this is a category that I actually have thought about. Raven literally came in January and has been running the whole year. Bill Alfonso is the motherfucking man, and he is a fucking heat magnet. But if I am to be the true paragon of professionalism and to truly objectively pick the first ever newly christened Eddie Gilbert Memorial StreetSmarks Audio Superstar of the Year, I'm going to go with Raven.
This is still a hard choice for me because I haven't really made the decision until I'm looking at these choices, and I'm adding Tommy Dreamer because without Tommy Dreamer, there's no Raven. So hand in hand, those guys go together. You have Sandman bouncing back, winning the title a couple of times this year. You have troubleshooting referee Bill Alfonso carrying the storyline aspect of his character. You have the Public Enemy, who I've mentioned, who they've wrestled all year long and holding down the tag team division. And you have Cactus Jack being that utility player who's worked babyface for the first half of the year, finished up the last half of the year as a heel. All equally great choices in their own right. I'm going to have to go. Man. All right, let's X out the Public Enemy. Let's X out. That's all I can X out, really. Cactus Jack. I mean, Cactus Jack made Sandman. So, no Cactus Jack, no Sandman. So, Sandman, You could take Sandman out. Raven did it in the tag team rank. He did it in this. I'm going to have to go with Raven. And with a caveat, Tommy Dreamer as well. Because I believe they just go hand in hand. They just have to go hand in hand.
But do they? And here's why I say that. Because Tommy Dreamer has been in ECW since, what, 94?
93.
It's 93.
Suspendus.
He's been in ECW since 93, floundering. Raven comes in 95. Boom. Next thing you know, he's a deal. I won't say a big deal, but he's a deal. Because it could be argued because of Raven.
But it's more of a chicken and egg type of situation because, okay, Raven makes Tommy Dreamer. Right?
Uh-huh.
But could Raven make Mikey Whipwreck? You know what I mean?
Maybe.
You know, that I mean you can't really sit there and say, oh, maybe because it was Tommy Dreamer that Raven was able to make him, therefore making himself. Because he was a completely new character. He could have bombed. I mean, he was doing that loaded boot gimmick for like the first quarter of the year, and that shit was terrible.
That's a good point.
So, I mean, I see where you're coming from. I mean, Tommy Dreamer was a suck babyface until Raven.
Yeah.
You convinced me. I'll go with Raven solo. Eddie Gilbert Memorial MVP on a concurrence.
Oh man, Eddie, I think Eddie is looking down on us right now, and he's smiling.
Are you sure Eddie is?
I think Eddie's looking up at us, and he's smiling.
In a few days, we got a post-show for Holiday Hell 1995. But that's the go-home show for the House Party 1996, which is the farewell for the Public Enemy.
Good riddance.
And a change to the format coming next year. But until then,
stay tuned, motherfuckers.
life is a work. Make sure you get paid for it. We out. Peace.
1995. Peace.
Swallowing gowling, run a train on that hoe, she be humming and hollering. One hit quick, she's a 2-dick chick, 3-way freak dick like it's 96. Oh, propane type flow. Yeah, murk killer nigga. Stop the fuckboy campaign. Crack Morris, they side high. Southeast mouthpiece, Harvard ass stand up. Free pretty.